All right, where's that little text? We made a little text blub. First off, it's not ESL. ESL, get out of here. That little 2 games text. All right, let's hope that works for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you have opened the stream with a sub, and you have my appreciation. And after this first series is done, I will do a big round of shout-outs. And thank you guys all so much for your support. But until we get to that point, we have 2 games to get through. Win or lose does matter a lot, as map scores will factor heavily into who gets out of here alive. 6 players step up to the plate, and only 2 will leave to face off against Europe. Spawning here to the top left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. He is, of course,
TLO.
And his opponent to the bottom right, the blue Terran player,
Future.
Now, Future was on quite a hot streak. Recently lost a couple of games to Silky on stream. I was a little surprised by that too, because Future was playing a very different play style. This kind of weird mass battle cruiser, I don't know what the heck it was about type of deal. But we'll see what he has here versus TLO. TLO, while not grabbing crazy exceptional results, I feel has been playing very well lately. Always impressed, always left with a positive impression too after his games. And a quick little note, TLO gets a special shout out today because TLO is actually not only playing Starcraft, but he's the Stream Raiders battle with us too. He put down a big BaseTradeTV Marine. Well, for legal reasons, not a Marine. Right there on the battlefield. I love it. It's the boss battle too, so make sure you guys join in while you can. Since we have the last stream's crew to thank for leaving us at the boss when we ended stream last. Yeah, Future's a guy of many talents. I've watched him play really solid bio, I've watched him play really solid mech, and I've watched him play not so very solid mass battlecruiser. All within the last couple of weeks versus Zerg. And I think it's very safe to assess that Future's still definitely one of the best players in North America. It's going to be very hard to dispute that. So he's one of my favorites to get out today, but funny enough, and I hate to say this, God forbid, I'm actually cheering against Terran today. Primarily... Excuse me, I have to keep muting the microphone there. Hopefully I'm actually muting it. Primarily because we had 2 Terrans from Europe advance. So I don't want the semifinals to be all Terran. I love TVT, don't get me wrong. But I want a little bit of diversity. I want to see Puck do well today. I want to see people like TLO do well today. Not a great start there for Futures. He misses the creep tumor and dives in really deep for it. And I guess I'm just going to say, for the sake of the VOD here, because I know this will end up in YouTube eventually. First off, hey YouTube, what's up? You guys looking so handsome today. You will hear a lot of periodic muting today. I've got a pretty bad cough. I thought it would be better for the stream. It's not, so we just kind of got to deal with it. Grenade keeps the Reaper alive for a little bit longer. Actually, TLO peels off just as Speed's finishing too. Unfortunate, he's probably going to chase that down, but... The Reaper living, not incredibly consequential. This is something where, paired up with the Hellions, it can still add quite a bit of damage to the attack that goes through the front. It makes it a lot easier to pick off creep tumors. And I just realized one of the biggest criticisms I get usually when commentating is just, oh, I talk too fast, or I need to slow down for the non-native English speakers. And I realized that with this cough, I basically have to mute at the end of every sentence. I'm going to have a much slower cadence for today, and maybe that'll be more enjoyable for people. Who knows? Liberator follow-up for Future, by the way. Still sticking with bio, so going with Stim on this one. Rifkin, are you going to upload this to Pornhub too? Man, if only they'd let me. You know, guys... I know there's a lot of talk right now with YouTube releasing its ad revenue stats from last year. 15 billion, by the way. Compared to Twitch's, like, what, 300 million or something really measly? But all of this considered, between YouTube, between Twitch, between Mixer, between Pornhub, a lot of people don't realize Pornhub actually offers, like, the best percentage shares to its creators. I know Pornhub's a meme, but they actually take care of their people way better than any other platform does. So I'm gonna just say it, like, if I could make a career on Pornhub doing StarCraft, oh, in a heartbeat I would. Hot Terran on Zerg action. Yeah, baby. Things are getting hot on Triton. Ugh. All right, cleaning up these creep tumors is pretty nice, but as you can see, TLO's got many queens, so replacing them won't be too difficult. But some good map control for future, because while he controls and does damage, you know, the Liberator distracts TLO over here, the Hellions distract him at the front. This gives Future the freedom to just take his third pretty much uncontested. That should go down on location fairly easily too. We also just have a lot of production finishing up, like the reactors have just completed, the tech labs are finishing up here. We're going to see a lot of units start coming out of Future soon, and I just realized, just scrolling on, sorry, it's going to drive me nuts. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anyone else who plays Starcraft, although I know the majority of you guys who watch this don't actively play Starcraft, and that's fine, I'm not judging. But I don't know if anyone else has this problem where, like, when they restart their game, I swear all the settings get reset. My health bars are, like, forcibly set to always on, and my mouse scrolling is checked as enabled, and it's really frustrating because it's like, hey, these are great settings for when I'm playing the game, but not when I'm watching it. I don't know if anyone else gets stuck with this, but it's been super irritating me recently. And as we should note, TLO is on a pretty healthy drone count of 63. He's not building a lot more right now because he's getting his army going. This is important timing-wise because while he doesn't know exactly when Future's coming from a push, we're hitting that 6 to 7 minute mark where usually there is some kind of, if it's not a drop, it's a 2-tank push, or in this case, a 1-tank push. Nope, sorry, the second tank's coming in medevac. So there's a lot of timings in StarCraft that are just kind of standard, and this is one of them. And I think it's worth noting that the earlier you can get an attack like this off, the better, because, you know, TLO will have less banelings, less hydralisks. Timing is of the essence for a lot of this, but you know, you can't really make up for lost time. You didn't come again. Oh, good focus fire on the banelings. It came a little bit late here, but he drags back past the tanks. Yeah, he loses the tanks, but they got the job done. They took out the banelings. Now these Marines, well, they're not free to take this base. They are going to take a much better fight than if there was banelings here ready to protect this. TLO's transitioning towards those Hydras. New banelings are coming to the front lines now. He's on creep. He went too deep. He went too deep. No! Well, what was a really cocky push out of Future is certainly pushed back and punished by TLO. And oh, that awkward tank positioning. I don't know what this spine crawler is, by the way. I think this thing's hilarious. I think this is made in anticipation of there being tanks put down here, because this is another really great spot to put tanks. And frankly, actually, the more I think about it, the more I really like that spine crawler. Obviously, Zerg would prefer not to build that if they can get away with it, but for TLO's sake, you know, this is an armor-busting unit. This would actually deal with a siege tank probably before it even finishes sieging up to fire back. Ooh, that Spore Crawler's really well placed, too. The Ground Tempest, a.k.a. the Queen, shoots those medevacs back. I gotta say, I complain a lot about Zerg players not doing enough static defense, but TLO's actually nailing every complaint I've ever had in that regard. I love the Spine Crawler. The Spore Crawlers are great, too. This pressure, by the way, has to be dealt with. That armory is very important. TLO knows he can't quite break that as easily, so he goes for supply depots, which will ultimately possibly supply block Future, which is no fun to deal with either. But I'm worried because Future's macro really doesn't feel like it's keeping up. Like, the SCV count is close, but yet the income is not. That's due to pulling workers away from that moment. We're going to see Mules spike back, and that'll even up in a moment. But for these trades, this isn't Lingbane Muto, where it's a little bit squishy and flimsy. Lingbane Hydralisk actually has a bit of staying power, right? Stay your ground and fight rather than necessarily run away and harass. So if an overwhelming number of banelings takes out Future's army, there's not just like, okay, one and done. There's Hydralisk behind it to deal more damage. The depots here are going to break. The Hydralisk could take out the armory. Oh, they're just going to squeeze right in there, go for the SCV line. Realizing the majority of the Marines are coming, they pull back. Looks like a small drop up here was dealt with pretty quickly by the TLO. And look, TLO is not running away with this game, but I feel like he's got this level of control over the match right now. In Future, a lot of this is still him just being punished. A little cocky early on, never quite recovered his army strength fully and entirely. Now he's got that army like ready to push, but by the time he does, there's a back attack set up here. Tanks are going to get taken out by the Hydras on the flank side. 3 tanks go down for the fight. And with this round of Hydras, he might just be able to clean up what's left. Yeah, he pushes this back entirely. What a sick mid-map flank out of TLO, but at the same time, shame on Future. That was so easily telegraphed, I feel. Like TLO going up to the right side. If Future had sent like 1 Marine, or maybe left 1 Marine behind, even he would have realized the back attack was coming. And there's no way he would have committed himself out here in the open. Future's a good player. He doesn't often make foolish mistakes. And I don't think that was of his own volition, but it definitely could have been avoided. Kudos to TLO though. He's doing great off of creep. The Hydrals counts continue to ramp up, and none of this has stalled him, by the way, from getting towards his hive tech, which is being, I guess, soon-ish. I'm assuming lurkers are on the menu for the late game, but for now, Banelings and Hydras will certainly fill that hole. Now, while we have a few moments here in the mid game before the action picks up, I'm just reminding everybody that this being a 2-game series, you know, it's really difficult to win a 2-0. There's not going to be too many 2-0s tonight, I don't think. So that means what few you get are going to mean a lot more. And as I had mentioned, there are 6 players competing tonight. Only 2 can get out of this group and top. And when we have some more time out of game, we'll talk about specials matches. Banelings are rolling forward. It's off creep, but it's just Marines. You know, there's no Widow Mines here. No siege tanks to fall back to. TLO doesn't know that, of course. It's a bit risky giving chase, so that's why he pulls back. He's got another really big army segmented to the center. And while this goes on, we do have that Liberator come back in for round. I guess, is this the same one from earlier? It can't be, right? It's a new one. But the Spore Crawlers are very well positioned. This Liberator will take quite a bit of pepper as it flies on over to the main. While this goes on, of course, we've continued setups for attacks. TLO looking to hit 2 locations. Left side's a bit of a... Oh, he's burrowed Baneling. He's got burrow. TLO actually just... He's like, if there's one player who's really good at on-the-fly burrows, it's TLO. So watch out for Baneling landmines for the rest of this matchup, because there's a good chance I won't even catch them, even though I know to look for them. There's just something about TLO's really slick about this. Now, while this went on, I guess TLO's attack was a little awkward there because he was dealing with the Liberator back at home. 11 drones died. That's nothing to scoff at. That's a pretty big deal. Tank set up on the leapfrog here, so TLO won't be able to pull off that same flank attack, but he is setting up to come in from 2 different angles, possibly. Or maybe just circumvent the army and send this one as a direct attack force. There's actually really not much stopping this. With the depots down especially, he could just walk right up. I mean, he'll bust in with the Banelings, but I don't think that was even necessary. These SCVs are screwed. Or maybe not. He's going to go... Well, the funny thing about Future's production is it's not all in the main base. So TLO's attack looks really good initially. This is going to be like cosmetic damage, though, I feel, more than anything else. Kill some of the reinforcements. Hydrals and drones, and everyone's been pushed back to these corners. He's waiting to get an army big enough to bust this, but if he waits too long, that Baneling nest is going to go down. Hydras in the main base holding pretty firm, though. TLO's actually a lot of damage done over here. By the looks of it, he's even got a couple Banelings too, but lost the natural base while this goes on. These Banelings that just finished morphing will be the last Banelings he has for some time. Losing these to the tanks would be unacceptable. And Future's actually got a really good tank spread set up right now, so getting the Banelings in seems like it's out of the question. TLO opted to maybe turn this into a base trade. It's not a terrible idea either. Future's only got the 1 siege tank to defend with, really. And the Banelings just walk right past it. The Hydras take care of that. SCVs! No! Of course, there's a slaughter going down on the other side of the map while this goes on. Hatchery would be hive completely denied. TLO's going to start his tech up here to the top right. As far as money goes, Future's got money, but he's going to have no supply. He won't be able to build anything, right? Like, he has to get every SCV out alive, and he's not going to. TLO's not going to let him. Oh, God. Well, instead of the 1 ling. The cost efficiency here is actually really important. As funny as it would be to watch him throw Banelings at SCVs like that, we got to remember TLO's actually on a very limited Baneling camp. Oh my God, hold on. With all the orbitals dead, there's no scans for the burrowed Banelings. Guys, TLO's army is objectively weaker and smaller, but with no possibility of detecting burrowed Banelings, not only is there going to be some sick baits set up, I just don't think there's a way to deal with this. But TLO's clock is ticking. He's got to build a new hatchery soon before he loses all of his buildings. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, there's an extractor and a spore crawler. He's not going to lose from this just yet. Future's lost all of his buildings. TLO's drones are in the middle of the... Oh, no. Oh, TLO, no. He's got to build. He's got to build quick. Future's going to realize there's not many actual buildings left. At this point, the only structure remaining for TLO are the 2 spore crawlers and the extractor. He's got to build. He's got to build. Okay. Oh, my God. I was like, if he doesn't build soon, he's so screwed. But yeah, this is actually, in my honest opinion, this is TLO's game to lose. I really think the power of these burrowed Banelings is going to be insane. He's got vision on the army thanks to his creep tumors. Here's TLO vision for you guys. He knows exactly where everything here is. The tanks, though, are such a big problem for him. I don't know that there's actually going to be a very easy way to actually deal with them. He's going to have to catch them unsieged. And let's not forget, well, there's no buildings really remaining. Like, these will all eventually die. Oh, TLO doesn't know about this command center. I was gonna say, Future's in a much more precarious situation, because once TLO actually decides to kill supply depots, it doesn't matter how much money or anything. Oh no! 2 full medevacs!
Monster kill.
The barracks goes down. TLO's actually in full base trade territory options now. He actually, with that floating barracks going down. Oh, the bandit! That's not even all of them. That's not even all of them. Oh my god. Oh my god. Future's so screwed. Guys, you remember when Future had a bigger army supply than TLO? Pepperidge Farm remembers. TLO still doesn't know about this command center in the main base. Oh, he missed the banelings over there. GG. Let's rewind and take a quick peek at that one, boys. Oh, he's got 39 Marines. Oh, brought down to 12. GG. All right, welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the hell out of that first game, because that was a good one. I don't know that we're gonna top that today. Like, base trade into banelings, I don't know. But hey, guys, do me a favor. If you want to make sure everybody else gets to enjoy these games, I'm spamming the tweet there in the Twitch chat real quick. If you could retweet that, let other people know that the show's going on today, that would be super much appreciated. But as we continue our games and our matches, I do want to remind everybody really quick, Future is streaming his point of view today. If you guys want to check out Future's game, you can, of course, from his point of view, you can check it out over on Twitch. But again, I'll do a bunch of the sub shoutouts that I haven't done all stream. I'll do that after this series is completed. Let's finish this first. It's game number 2 in this best of 2, but the phrase best of 2 doesn't make sense, so it's a 2-game series. And spawning here to the bottom right side of the map, he's up with 1 point on the board. Our first point today, we do have
TLO.
And his opponent at the top left, the Red Terran, the prodigy of NA. It's
Future.
No, like, obviously eyes and attention were on TLO for that game. Future played pretty well. I'm not going to say pretty, like, perfectly or anything. He definitely had his share of mistakes, but I think generally speaking, a pretty good series out of him so far. Good macro, bad decision making. All of those are easily rectified after the first series of the day. Get warmed up and good to go. Sorry, I was just responding to something in the sub-only chat on our Discord. Yes, the answer, Dinwit, if you're listening, I'll save you a tab out. The answer is yes. At any rate, sorry guys. People are asking about Matcherino codes for today. There are no Matcherino codes for this tournament at the moment. Matcherino's already given us several $100s in codes through the qualifiers. I'm trying, but I'm not sure if we'll get any for the finals or not. So I will just say, for those who haven't been following the prize pool too closely, the finals prize money is secured. It will be no less than $700. That's already up there. It's already good to go. We don't have to raise a single dollar to make it bigger and better. But if we do raise money, I have outlined some stretch goals to make it specifically bigger and better. If you're interested, you can take a look on Matcherino. I've already had some really cool people like Mike Zeckham and Joe McSassy and a few others contribute. Thank you guys for that. For Future, because he doesn't have the Reaper, right? He opened up the Reapers over here. He's actually had to pull some SCVs to secure this command center being built. Doesn't feel good to have to do this. While this goes on, the micro he does on the other side of the field is somewhat fruitless. The Reaper really didn't accomplish too much. Not a single drone killed after all. So a little regrettable, as all this really does is hurt Future's economy, and TLO being over here in such force, it's frustrating to deal with. He's going to try and save that SCV at the sacrifice of a few others. Okay, the Marine gets jumped on. Oh, that's a problem. This command center stalled out for even longer. I mean, it'll eventually get finished, right? But the delay on this is massive. So, I mean, on one hand, like, kudos to TLO. He cuts a couple of the drones early on to get a few extra Zerglings out. But in doing so, has delayed Future so badly that I feel this really was worth it. And I think one of the worst parts about this was not just the command center being delayed. It forced a lot of SCVs off of mining. It just straight up killed like one. Like, all in all, the Reaper being brought back home too gave TLO the freedom to set down creep tumors without them being contested. Third base uncontested. Like, there was just so much good that came from his decision to send those links out across the map. And while they ultimately didn't do anything too devastating, oh, that's a weird rally. I don't know what that drone was doing. Well, that was a very weird decision out of TLO. It's one that worked out really well. The aggression versus Terran, oftentimes you write it off. Like, oh, they're going to have a wall off. They're going to have a Reaper. There's no reason to try moves like this, but really nicely done at TLO. Banshee's going to be the follow-up for future. This might actually have a little bit of wiggle room. Not in terms of detection, but just in terms of maneuverability. I think... Oh, the hell, he got exploded on. I think there's some real possibility for Banshee to get some good damage in here. But even if it's not a Banshee for the sake of like dedicating to the mineral lines, just helping police some of the creep tumors will go a long way. Heartbroke says, did we crush Nikki? Oh, you bet we crushed Nikki, dude. We crushed Nikki super hard. We secured those 30 subs. And she's gonna drop excuses like, oh, you know, you wouldn't have won if I wasn't sick. And I'm gonna be like, well, you wouldn't have been close if we didn't have fucking 10 million HP bosses. No, honestly, it was a really fun exchange. I like competition, whether it's friendly stuff like that or something super hardcore like Twitch Rivals. So you know, win or lose, I think I had a lot of fun with January. Obviously, I'm a little happier that we won. And thank you guys. I know there's some dedicated weirdos like Mike Zeckham who played Rally every single freaking day. And actually, on that note, just while we have this kind of posturing and not a lot happening, so here's where Rally's at. Rally is no longer developing. We're allowed to continue using the game until it's like gone, I guess. I'll probably leave it up there until they do a reset, because they've mentioned it'll probably be about another month or so before they do another season reset. So even though we're not sponsored by them anymore, I know a lot of you guys like playing the card game. I'll probably just leave it under the stream. But just to be clear, we are fully done with Rally at this point. I liked it. It was a good time. I will miss it. But at the same time, we've done our boss thing with Nikki. There's nothing else to do for Rally now. It's just purely for funsies. Finally, Rifkin wins the competition. Can we get a ban on Shy Guy SC in the chat, please? Make it permanent. Don't make it a playful timeout. Let's just permanently ban this toxic son of a... Are you dare... You remind me of how he lost to Wardy just a month ago? Huh? It's disgusting, dude. Shaking and crying. Yeah, goodbye forever. Enjoy your ban, kid. All right, there's CC for futures being established. Now, look, a part of why this was actually kind of a slower start to the game was because TLO appears to possibly be gearing up for an all-in. Now, look, I'm hesitating saying this because this could be argued for defensive purposes, an armor upgrade over weapon upgrade, but I'm pretty sure TLO walking the queens across the middle of the map telegraphs this pretty hardcore. The drones are cut. We know this, but Future doesn't. But what I'm saying is, from Future's point of view, he sees queens walking like this. He doesn't have eyeballs on the roaches, but he's about to. He's got no bunkers, and he's ready to push out. No. He needs to siege up at home. Oh, God. It's like Banshee got a little bit of damage done on the other side of the map. Picks up about 4 drone kills. Squashed. Wait, does Future still not... He has to know about the roaches, right? The Hellion saw the roaches, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there we go. So what he's doing is he's setting up the tanks between the 2 base locations because he doesn't know which one's going to be hit. This could still work for him. There's not enough roaches here that they can ignore the tanks, but also I'm not sure if there's enough bio to deal with the roaches. Medevacs rush to the front line. Some more Hellions spawn. The tanks have been pretty much dealt with. SCV's trying to mass repair the other one. Not quite enough. If these were Hellbats instead of Hellions, by the way, they'd be so much more helpful. But the armory's not done, so he can't transform. The siege tank on the high ground should be able to hold this, though. Future ultimately right now has lost 8 workers and a small army. Not that big of a deal. He's trying to push the roaches off of the siege tank, keep them out of the dead zone. Tank still ends up dying to the roaches. Queens with a couple transfuses on the front line too. I think Future's gonna hold this, but damn, what an aggressive attack on a TLO. Disrupting Future's economy in a big way. And there's no way that third base is gonna get established anytime soon. Yeah, I'm pulling this back for now. There's no Ravagers to deal with, so the tank on the high ground here works pretty well. Corrosive Bowels are usually the problem. With just roaches right now, that's not an issue. At some point, Future may feel comfortable enough to segment off like a single drop of Marines and maybe go around the map, but at the moment, we are really like on an all-hands-on-deck situation. This third base needs to be established. SCVs need to get to mining. It's like it's like I'm watching Gold Rush all over again. Like Future season's at a risk if he doesn't reach his 1,000-ounce gold. Tony Beats is leasing water out over the Klondike, and what's Parker up to? Who knows? Because fucking Slucifer's not working. Sorry. I can't stop watching the show. It's so good. I'm so sorry. It just keeps bleeding into the casts. I'm not sorry. I'm so hooked on Gold Rush right now, boys. I hate it so much. It's like I've never been into reality TV before, right? Watched Survivor season 1. That was it. Never cared for American Idol or any other crap. Can't get enough of Gold Rush though. Sorry. Anyways, TLO continues his very aggressive assault. His supply really high compared to that of Futures, but not necessarily better. Like in instances like this, Corrosive Bowels dive forward, they pick off a Liberator, and that looks pretty easy, but it costs TLO a lot to do this. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, ooh, this aggressive Liberator takes out a few more drones. This build cancel micro at the supply depots is really funny to watch, by the way. Doesn't get the cancels on those ones, however. He kind of needed those ones. Future's getting close to the supply block. It's not there yet, but he's almost there. SCV's pulled away from the mineralized. He's really, if Future knows, he has to deal with combination the Overseer for the high ground vision, but also the Ravagers for their damage. And I think he's starting to fall apart here. The Marines almost focus the Overseer, then don't. Ravagers and Roaches push up and kill 18 SCVs. Granted, TLO's own worker count is not exactly booming behind this, but at least he's operating off of 3 bases. Something that Future presently is not. In fact, this command center almost has 2 mules in it. That's how long it's been not spending its energy. That's how long it's not been contributing to society. I'm a little interested in the composition out of Future, by the way. Still sticking with mostly mass Marines. I think kind of works, but we got to keep in mind TLO's +2 armor has been reducing a lot of the damage. Future's coming up on 2-2, and he'll have a better chance fighting soon. But you know, no Marauders in the mix when there's a lot of Roaches in play is not unacceptable or anything. But to see just pure Marines is, I don't know. They're relying a lot on the tank support is what I'm saying. Dives forward. He does focus on the Ravagers on the backside. I like that. South side, excuse me. Top side starts pushing through. 3 siege tanks though might just be able to hold their ground against this. There's a lot of damage coming up against Roaches. The Ravagers are a little scary, sure, but the Marines can deal with those no problem as long as the Roaches get taken out of the equation. TLO down to the wire. So is Future. Neither player with much army supply, and Future's going to be the one to tap out. GG.